Archie Roach is a singer, songwriter, narrator, and a talented artist. He was taken away from his family at an early age as part of the stolen generation. Roach spent time in institutions before relocating to a Scottish household. After learning about his Aboriginal family from a letter received from his sister, he left home. On the streets of Adelaide and Melbourne, Roach spent many years suffering from alcoholism, questioning his identity. Ruby Hunter, Roach's partner, is a Ngarrindjeri woman from South Australia. She was also a singer and lyricist who had been removed from her family. In the late 1980s, Roach formed a band called All Together that performed at community events around Melbourne. The highlight of their career was when they played as the opening act for Paul Kelly and the Messengers. In 1990, Roach recorded Charcoal Lane that was produced by Paul Kelly and Steve Connolly. Critics were quick to realize Archie's soulful vocals and heartfelt lyrics heralded the emergence of a major new artist. The album's centrepiece, Took the Children Away, shone a spotlight on the impact of the forcible removal of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people from their families and brought it to the attention of the global community. The single won an International Human Rights Achievement Award, while the album was certified gold and won 2 ARIA Awards. After the booming success of his debut album, he continued to write songs that moved his audience by expressing what it means to be human through song. His songs revolve around his perspective of love and the heart of humanity. Up until 2010, he produced 4 successful albums, all with very unique morals. In particular, Sensual Being is written from Archie's very unique perspective on life and beyond. It boasts dozens of earthy, voluptuous stories which resonate with optimism and the joy of being in tune with family, spirit, soulmates, and oneself. 2010 was a traumatic year for Roach as his wife had an abrupt death. Struggling to cope with the loss of his soulmate, Archie suffered a massive stroke that left him temporarily paralyzed along his right side, unable to talk, walk, or play his guitar. After intensive rehabilitation, Archie briefly returned to performing. In 2011, he was diagnosed with cancer and was facing an operation to remove half of his lung. After a year, Roach returned to the music industry with a new album, Into the Bloodstream. The song's purpose was not to dwell on the past, but to serve a healing effect upon himself and his audience. It provided him a way to begin and live life again. Over the years, Roach has been a guest artist at many Indigenous festivals across Australia, and continues to work and be a representative for his community. He is active in many Aboriginal causes and continues to provide vocals for soundtracks for artists, albums, bands, and films.